Namaste, pierogies. Welcome to your beginner yoga practice. This one is an excellent one to do if you're just starting out in your yoga practice and you're new, or if you're intermediate or advanced, you've been doing this for a while. It's an excellent one to do for recovery, or one that you do to wind down at the beginning of the day, or one that you do in the morning when you're not quite so warm. So really, anyone can do this anytime, okay? Come down to the floor. Just gonna start with a brief wrist warm up. My promise to you, I won't keep you in any pose for very long, okay? I know how it is when you're first starting your yoga practice. Being in poses for long periods of time kind of stress us out. I get there. I get it. I've been there before. So I promise you I won't keep you anywhere too long, all right? Come down to all fours. Hands under the wrist. Spread the fingers out as much as you can and just give the floor a little squeeze. Tuck the toes. And now where your hands are now, you're gonna slide them back towards your knees a little bit more. So the shoulders are just slightly forward of the hands, just a little wrist warm up and wrist stretch. Now take your shoulders around the hands in a clockwise motion. 3 more times. Keep the toes tucked. We're trying to stretch the feet out and change directions. Warming the wrist up is super important, especially in yoga practices, as we are often on our hands and knees, and the wrist may get sore. And a lot of that has to do with just volume, just time on the wrist. Relax, come back to the middle, keep the toes tucked. Now we're gonna do some scapular retractions and extensions. So you can move the hands slightly more forward so they're directly under the shoulders. Look at my elbows. I'm gonna turn my elbows to the back of the room to engage my lats, stabilize the shoulder. And now I'm going to act like I'm trying to get my shoulder blades to touch behind me. So I'm going to drop my chest in between my shoulder blades and squeeze my shoulder blades together. And then I'm going to extend and try and move them apart. That's 2. Let's do 3 more. 3, 4, last one, 5. Marvelous. Sit back on the feet. Keep the toes tucked. Feel that stretch on the bottom of the foot. Shake the wrist out. At any time, you can untuck the toes and sit on the heels if you would like, just to give the feet a little bit of a break. Interlace the fingers. I'll come facing you now. Interlace the fingers, and we'll just roll the wrist in any direction. I'm doing figure 8s, and then I'll change directions. One more shake of the wrist. Let the hands go, shake them out. Okay, ready? First pose. Bring the hands under the shoulders. Come to all fours. And we're gonna step the feet back for plank pose. Option immediately, you can bring the knees down to the floor, but keep the shoulders forward over the hands. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale. One more deep breath, extend through the shoulders. As you exhale, you're gonna lift the knees and hips up into a downward dog. Hips go towards the sky, and I'm reaching my heels towards the floor. You can bring your feet in a little bit. You won't be here long, I promise. And then bend the knees, take a little bit more pressure off the shoulders and the hands, and move your chest towards your thighs. Take 2 deep breaths, in through the nose, out through the mouth. One more. On your next inhale, you're going to roll back forward to plank. Inhale. Bring the hips forward, bring the shoulders forward over the hands, bring the knees to the floor. Exhale here. Untuck the toes, inhale. As you exhale, come all the way down to the floor. Excellent, hands are still under the shoulders. And your next inhale, squeeze the glutes, squeeze your shoulder blades, press into the hands and lift the chest away from the floor. Inhale. This is baby cobra. Hold here, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower back down to the floor. Take a deep breath. Exhale. On your next inhale, baby cobra again. Lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Now tuck the toes. You're gonna lift the knees and the thighs off the floor. Lift, lift. And you can either keep the knees, put the knees back down on the floor, and then push up into a plank. Go. Hold here. And we're gonna run through that entire sequence again. So I'm inhaling, exhale. My next inhale, I'm lifting up to downward dog. Inhale. Moving a little quicker this time. Exhale. On your next inhale, roll forward to plank. Exhale. Inhale. Lower all the way down to the floor. On your inhale, baby cobra. Squeeze shoulder blades. Exhale. Lower. Inhale, push up to plank. Exhale. Inhale, downward dog. Hold here. Now your next inhale, you're gonna bring the right leg forward in between the hands. Inhale. Right leg forward. Place it in between the hands. Left knee drops to the floor. Lift up for low lunge. Fantastic. Hands over the head. Squeeze the left glute to push the left hip forward and pull your right heel back to activate the right hamstring. So I'm trying to square the hips. Control the breath. Hand sweep to the floor. Push the hips back. Straighten the right leg for half split. Now pull the right toes towards the knee. And then we're going to rotate the right foot in and out. As often as you can, breathe through the nose. Unless you're talking, like me. Relax. Bend the right knee. Put the hands outside of the, frame the foot with the hands. And then you're going to press up. Straighten the back leg, straighten the front leg, and then step the back leg in for pyramid. If you need to, you can have a bend in the right knee, or it can be straight. Step both feet in for standing forward fold. Relax here, hug the elbows, let the head and shoulders droop. One more deep breath. As you exhale, release the hands and then walk the hands up the shins, up the legs. Roll to standing. Take the hands overhead. Extended mountain, palms come together. Squeeze the glutes, squeeze shoulder blades for a baby back bend. Inhale. As you exhale, brings the hands down together to the heart. Elbows in line with the wrist. On your next inhale, reach the hands back up, keeping the palms together. And as you exhale, forward fold. Hands on the floor. Step the right foot back, step the left foot back for plank. Inhale, downward dog. Exhale, here. Inhale, roll to plank. Exhale. Inhale, stay. Exhale, lower all the way down to the floor. Inhale, baby cobra, untuck the toes. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Exhale, lower. Tuck the toes, lift the knees and thighs off the floor. Inhale, push the plank. Exhale. On your next inhale, bring the left foot forward. Place it in between the hands, right knee down. Sit up. Low lunge. Inhale, hands overhead. Big exhale, open mouth. Inhale, hands sweep to the floor. Push hips back, half split. Pull the left toes towards the knee and start to windshield wiper the foot. Rotate it in, rotate it out. How you feeling? It's gentle, it's gentle. Relax, bend the left knee. Then you're gonna straighten both legs for pyramid. Step the right foot in as much as you need to get the heel on the floor. Your feet are hip width apart, hips square to the front. If you need to, you can bend the front knee. If you can, straighten it. Pull the left hip back a little bit more. On your next inhale, step the right foot in. Hug the elbows. Let the upper body droop for standing forward fold. Exhale, release the hands. Inhale, walk the hands up the legs. Take the hands overhead, extend the mountain. Try and create as much space through each vertebrae as possible. So I'm reaching my fingertips to the ceiling and I'm pushing my heels down into the floor. I'm trying to create space as much as I can between the fingertips and the heels. As you exhale, bring the hands down to the chest, heart center, elbows in line with wrist. Inhale, reach up. Hold here, squeeze glutes. As you exhale, open the eyes, bring the hands apart. The feet are going to be either together or hip width apart, and we sit back into chair pose. So this is what it looks like from the front. And I'm just going as low as I can, keeping the chest up. Some of us may be able to get down here. Some of us, this range may be right here. Keep the biceps next to the ears as best you can. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release arms down, stand up. Step the right foot back, so now you're facing me for a wide leg forward fold, Prasarita Padottanasana. Toes in, heels out. Bring the hands down to the floor, keeping the chest lifted. You may want to take the feet a little wider, feel free. If you can bring the elbows or forearms close to the floor, by all means. Allow the head to droop. Feel the stretch in the inner thighs and the hamstrings. Two more deep breaths. Hands on the floor to press the chest up. You can heel toe the feet in. And when you're ready, come down to the floor. We're going to go 90-90 pose or figure 4. So our knees are going to be at 90 degrees and 90 degrees. My right knee is forward. I'm facing to the right. Now there are variations to this. If you want to come in Kapotasana, if you're a more seasoned practitioner, or a pigeon pose, by all means. Okay, or you can stay at 90-90 with me. And I'm working to square my shoulders to the front, and then I'm leaning forward over the front shin. And we want to feel this stretch in the outside of our right glute, right side of our right hip, as well as like the lower back. Okay, the quadratus lumborum, the muscles and tendons that attach the upper to the lower body. Stay here for 3 deep breaths. It's nice to relax into poses. And so if you do, at some point, either today or another day, if you want to find one of the yin yoga classes on the app, it's where we stay in poses for anywhere from 1 to 3, sometimes 5 minutes. They're amazing. Let's switch sides. It's weird, I have tight hips, but I love working my hips. I love it so much. I think it's because I know it's a weak spot for me. Each time you exhale, you're trying to melt forward just a little bit more, but we're not forcing anything, okay? One more deep breath. Relax. Bring both feet to the top of the mat. You're sitting on your butt. Okay, now we have reverse tabletop. Now if you are newer, This may be a struggle, okay? Requires a decent amount of upper body strength. Here are your options. Okay, option one, we keep our feet hip width apart. And we're gonna press forward and lift our hips as high as we can. We're squeezing the glutes. Okay, so there's a nice stretch in the front of my shoulders and my chest, and I'm doing my best to get this as parallel as possible. Your head doesn't have to be forward or back. I just like to keep mine neutral. Here, option, you just lower the hips as much as you need to, or you can sit the hips down, bring the hips forward, and then bend the arms for a nice stretch through the front of the shoulders, and you just reduce a little bit of the upper body strength required, okay? Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Okay. That was your beginner or wind down or warm up yoga session. Really hope you enjoyed. Very simple poses, not any for long, but a nice, wholesome, energizing practice for the body. Until next time, namaste, peeps.